Welcome to the Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror media. I'm sorry, today we're looking at the Chucky Season 2 of this Chucky TV series. This came out in 2022, so yeah. But you know, this TV show is pretty damn good. Obviously, I covered the first season of this shit like 5-6 months ago, back in November, I think. So yeah, if you missed those videos, go check them out. Good ass kill counts. And yeah, today we're looking at season 2 and shit. And hey, I ain't gonna lie, this season is okay and shit. Basically, Chucky comes back, where you know the three main characters from the last season, they are in this, like, I don't know, it's like a goddamn castle of some sort, but it's like church shit at the same time. So I don't know, but yeah, though, basically they stay in there and shit, and it's just a lot of more shit going on. They put a lot of new shit in here too, which yeah, and yeah though, but you know, the great kills and shit, practical effects looks good in this, and yeah though, but how many people have died in this season? Well, let's find out, and let's get to the kills. The season begins with, you know, that Tiffany doll having Andy Barkley at gunpoint and shit. Then we fade to black and shit. Then we cut to all the Chucky dolls being back there and shit, and stuff like that, just talking and stuff. Then we cut to, you know, the Tiffany doll head getting shot off and shit for the first kill of this season. Then we cut to all these damn Chucky dolls falling off and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, then we get a good ass little title card and stuff, which, hey, this title card looks pretty damn great and stuff. And I like how throughout the series, you know, the title card changes and shit. It's just pretty damn good to me. So yeah, anyway, Jake gotta leave and shit. That's why he's telling Devin goodbye and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, and now we're in New Jersey and shit, where it's Halloween right now and shit, and it's on Halloween night too. And Devin video calls Jake and shit and stuff like that. Then they just start talking and shit. Then they get an unknown caller and shit and stuff like that, and they think it's weird and shit, so they start freaking out about it and shit. Then we get innocent election room and shit and stuff like that with this shit. And then we get the little party scene, I guess, and shit and stuff like that, where it looks like she's partying. Now she's at a meeting and shit and stuff like that, where, you know, she looks like she's on coke bad as hell too. Now they're taking pictures and shit because I guess they just have to, I guess, and shit. Then when Lacey comes, you know, from out that bathroom finally and stuff, guess what? When we cut to her coming downstairs being real hooked on it, real bad and shit, and then this shit blows up and shit because they're that dumbass kid, and we get caught up too. So yeah, and now they're on the bus and shit and stuff, where they're on the way to this, like, you know, facility that they gotta stay at for the rest of this damn season. Then we cut to one of them, those big ass mansion type of doors, cause you know this place is rich as shit and all that type of stuff. Then we cut to, you know, her waking up to this goddamn doll head being cut up with all this blood up in her sheets and shit like that. So yeah, and now we're in this isolated school jail type of place and shit, where we meet back with all the main characters from the last season and shit like that. So yeah, anyway, they're all just, you know, listening to these people talk and shit. Then they all go to their room and shit, where these people, you know, guide them there and shit and all that type of stuff, where they're supposed to stay there and shit with their little roommate and shit, like they're in college or something. And I guess Devin and Jake goes to their room as well and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, we go to this lady and shit, you know, put on the ground because, you know, Chucky has scared her and shit and stuff like that. And then she dies and stuff with a damn heart attack and stuff, holding that damn cross in her hand. We get these, you know, long ass tracking shot back, I guess, and shit. Or I guess it's first period and shit, where all these people start transitioning to where the fuck they gotta go and shit. Then, you know, Chucky flips all them damn people off and shit. So yeah, anyway, we cut to bro acting fake and shit, because, you know, people just like to pick bro up and shit for no damn reason. Then we cut to, you know, her and this guy talking and shit and all that type of stuff. So yeah, anyway, bro comes in and shit. Then she slits his throat for some damn reason and shit like that, and he falls down for a long ass time. You know, Tiffany kills her and shit like that. So yeah, we cut to Jake and shit talking to this guy and shit and all that type of stuff to, you know, let him know what's up and shit like that. So yeah, anyway, they just strap go down in this chair and shit and ask him why he likes to kill people and shit. Then bro puts that knife up to his head and shit, threatening him to do something and shit for some damn reason. Then we get the title card and shit, Which, hey, this title card looks fucking great, honestly, it does though. So we cut to Jake and shit talking to this lady and shit about some more Chucky shit and shit like that. So yeah, anyway, we cut to Lexi and she gets some water and stuff, and you know, and all that type of shit. So yeah, anyway, bro comes right there and shit, interrupting her and shit, and you know, bro just talks about some other shit and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, we cut to Devin and shit talking to Chucky and trying to let him know that, you know, you should stop killing people and shit. Then we cut to them, you know, making him watch old ass horror movies and shit so he can see the gore and shit, so it can make him stop killing people, I guess. That doesn't make no sense at all, but you know what, I'm gonna just roll with it. And they start making him watch Psycho 3, which I did cover this on the Kill Count. We cut to Father Christ and Devin talking about some other shit, which I don't even know, to be honest. They all go back to their room and shit to go check on this little kid and Chucky, I guess, and shit like that. So yeah, anyway, we cut to bro just getting his ass beat by something invisible or something. Then, you know, he dies when his chest blows up and shit, and that just looks pretty shit. Then we cut to Chucky and shit talking about some random unnecessary shit and shit like that. So yeah, then we see, you know, this doll again and shit where, you know, Chucky, and we see him again too and shit. Then we cut to Tiffany talking to both of these guys and shit, and you know, I guess welcoming them home and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, they all just sit at the table and shit where I guess they're having dinner, and they just start talking about some shit and stuff like that. So yeah, now they're all sitting down and shit where they just talk about some Chucky shit and stuff. Then, you know, I guess she brings them down to this damn basement type of place and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, and she walks down these damn stairs slowly as hell and shit, and it looks like she's just standing there for no goddamn reason. I guess she sees bro dead body and shit, where I guess it causes her to go into this other room and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, and at this point I don't even know what the fuck is going on, to be really honest with you guys. So yeah, we cut to these people where it just look like they're having some type of damn meeting and shit. Then, you know, we cut to her getting put into her new room, I guess, and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, and then we cut to, you know, these two talking and shit. Then she gets hit in the back of the head with that damn thing and stuff like that. So yeah, and she just holds bro at gunpoint for some damn reason. I don't know why, but yeah, anyway, they're just talking about some random shit, and then bro just gets shot to death a whole bunch of fucking times for just no reason, and keep emptying that damn clip on him too, huh? Then, you know, we cut to these two Chuckies just sitting at the table chilling and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, then we cut to Jake and Devin talking about, I don't know, some other shit, I guess the little relationship type shit. So yeah, anyway, then we cut to Leslie talking to this kid and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, then we cut to Tiffany chilling and shit in her damn house and shit, you know, just chilling on some shit. So yeah, anyway, I guess she just gets up, start watching TV and shit. So yeah, anyway, you know, that's pretty damn nice and shit. So yeah, then we cut to, you know, Devin, you know what I meant to say, but yeah, he's talking to Chucky and shit like that. Then we cut to Devin actually talking to Father Christ about something and shit like that. Then we cut to Tiffany tearing up her goddamn help me sign and shit by, you know, this little doll right here and shit. Then we cut to Chucky talking to this damn lady and shit that I guess, you know, helps them people out and shit. Then we cut to these two people just looking at something through that goddamn window and shit, and they all start fighting and shit like that. So, well, nah, she gets slashed up a bunch of shit. Then we got to Ball Chucky, you know, at someone's grave, pulling Andy out of his damn grave or something. Then we can count all these damn Chucky dolls and shit, cause yeah. Then we get an aftermath look in a minute and shit, and here it is right here. So yeah, anyway, ain't gonna lie, this counts. So you know what, fuck it. If you don't think that, guess what? This is my TV show, bitch. But all jokes aside, though, I did count the other Chucky dolls that did die in the first season and shit, so it wouldn't feel right for me to not count them in this season. So yeah, sorry, deal with it. Well, we cut to Father Christ and shit, preaching at these damn kids and shit, so you know they can just listen to bro and shit. Then we got to, you know, him talking to the three main characters and shit and all that type of shit. So yeah, then we got to her and shit, you know, just talking to Gwen and shit about some shit and all that type of shit. So yeah, then we cut to this Chucky doll and shit fighting the other one and shit, and you know they both say let's get it on and shit. And then bro just falls out of nowhere when this ball Chucky doll uses his some type of little superpower he got and shit. Then we got to her getting shot and shit and stuff like that, and you know bro falls down the stairs and shit. Then Father of Christ comes to help him and shit, which gives bro a chance to run and shit, and somebody just gets pistol whipped to death and shit. So yeah, sorry about that guy and shit, but you know she just stands there and look at bro for a second. She's telling this little kid to come in here for Lexi to come up there in time to see him die and shit. So yeah, that's pretty fucked up. Then she's freaking out and shit while bro just thinks it's fun. We cut to this lady once again having somebody at gunpoint. Who the fuck gave this lady a gun and shit? She's really trigger happy right now. She just shot the other guy like a few seconds ago. Then we cut to this lady too and shit having someone else at gunpoint and shit. Then we cut to, you know, her and shit at the airport right now and shit for some fucking reason and shit. Then we got to her on the news and shit of her being a damn murderer and shit. Then we just found that out too. And now Tiffany thinks that it's time for her, you know, to get one of them little identity changes. Then they put all the polls up and shit, you know, putting it in this damn dresser and shit. So yeah, anyway, I guess we cut to these two and shit where, you know, this fucking Nika lady comes out and shit. Then we cut to Lexi and shit where, you know, this goddamn angel keep popping up and shit, talking to her about some other shit. So yeah, and then, you know, she just keep on freaking out about it. So yeah, then we cut to Chucky and shit looking like Hannibal Lecter and shit and all that type of shit. So yeah, we cut to this guy and shit talking to her about some other shit in his goddamn library and shit and all that type of shit. So yeah, anyway, we cut to Jake and shit, you know, tying Chucky down to this damn, you know, little table and shit, so say it can get ready to, you know, stop him from killing and shit. So yeah, then we cut to these people just being out and shit, I guess, and stuff like that, and they're just talking about something right now. Then the little Tiffany doll just get ran over by a goddamn truck and shit. So yeah, that's pretty fucked up and shit. And bro didn't bother to stop either. Anyway, I guess they start doing the little chant or some shit and all that type of shit. Then bro just floats up in the damn air for a few seconds and shit and all that type of stuff. Then bro lands back down onto the table and shit, and then everyone just stands around looking at him for no damn reason. And bro just comes in out of nowhere and shit, starts talking for no damn reason too, and then bro just blows up out of fucking nowhere. So yeah, anyway, bro just blew up out of nowhere and shit. So yeah, then we cut to Chucky and Jake talking about some other shit. Then we, you know, just got to her with her hands up. Then we can count this Chucky doll and shit because, you know, he's just getting shot a bunch of shit by this damn lady and shit that's just shooting him a bunch of fucking times for no reason in these slow motion shots. So yeah, then we cut to her getting tackled out the way and shit and all that type of stuff. So yeah, we're her just watching too though. So yeah, anyway, we cut to this lady on the ground and shit where bro tries, you know, transfer her soul into her body and shit. Then Chucky gets shot out of her hand and shit, and you know, she drops him and shit and stuff like that. So yeah, now it's December 22nd and shit and all that type of shit. So yeah, anyway, now it's cold outside or whatever and shit where all these people are in the main room talking about all the other shit that just happened that we just saw. And we cut to her working, you know, bro home and shit and all that type of shit. So yeah, anyway, we cut to, you know, this lady and shit just, you know, playing with this shit and shit, and then, you know, he just gets shocked and set on fire and shit. So yeah, that's pretty fucked up. So yeah, then we cut to Chucky treating himself and shit with some milk and cookies and shit like he's Bad Santa or some shit. So yeah, then we cut to, you know, Chucky just, you know, chopping her down and shit until, you know, her whole body is fucking split in half and shit with this damn chainsaw. So yeah, anyway, he continues to do that shit, and you know, we see all these little effects and shit, and they look pretty alright and shit. So yeah, anyway, you know, just keep on doing it for this long ass time and shit, so this shit could, you know, finally end. And then Lexi does the exact same kill that, you know, he just did on that lady and shit. So yeah, anyway, the Christmas tree turn on and shit or whatever and shit. So yeah, and now I guess we cut to this lady and shit trying to wake this goddamn doll up and shit, but you know, the doll strips out of whatever and shit, and little did they know it's a Chucky doll and shit. And bro gets up with that knife and shit, starts walking to her slowly and shit, and then the season ends with, you know, her staring at Chucky and shit, him striking with that knife. How many people died in this season? Let's find out. Let's get to the numbers. By my count, 32 people died in, you know, the Chucky TV series season 2. The victims included 29 male and 3 ladies. So yeah, that gives us, you know, that pie chart. And I think this movie winds up short about like, you know, about like 4 kills down, I think, from the last one. I done forgot. I think I counted like 34 kills, or it was one. I forgot though. But with this series, with 8 episodes this season, that leaves us with a kill on average every 25.2 minutes, which yeah, I don't know how, but you know, that's what came up though. I get the golden chainsaw for coolest kill. So you know, that chainsaw kill at the end when Chucky is coming down with it and shit, and you know, it just looks pretty damn good, and it takes a good ass long time to kill her ass too. Dama Shade for lightning skill can go. So I guess to the damn Chucky explosions that happened, but that's it. This came out in 2022, and hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Next week we will be looking at you know, what is that shit? Insidious Part 3, which came out in 2015, I think. But until then, in the kill count. Thank you guys so much for watching today's kill count and stuff like that. And I know it's been a minute since I did a Chucky TV series kill count, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this. I know I was not doing good explaining this fucking season or none of that shit, but yeah, what you guys think of this season? You liked it when it came out, or do you still like it now? Do you hate it now? What's up? But yeah, thanks everyone for watching, and as always, be good people.